Hello, Dorpaton. This is a response to your Cartesian theist and the primacy of consciousness fallacy. I hate to say it, but I think that you're completely misunderstanding consciousness here. You start the video out by saying that theists make a circulosis videosis fallacy. You say it's impossible for consciousness to be conscious of nothing but itself because it posits the primacy of consciousness over the primacy of existence, but that in itself implies a circulosis videosis fallacy. You're presupposing your own conclusion, which is materialism. Basically, you have this chart here where an immaterial mind creating all of existence, but the point is that you're assuming that all that exists is material, and the whole point of this is that there is an immaterial existence as well, right? So, for example, you say something can exist but not be conscious, but something can't be conscious and not exist. Well, that assumes materialism is true in the first place. The whole point of debate here is, in this case, is that there is a mind above things. For example, or everything's contained within a mind. For example, pantheism or panentheism. And if anyone out there who wonders what the distinction is, pantheism says the universe is the mind of God. Panentheism says the universe is within the mind of God. But the whole point there is that you could very well have, seemingly immaterial things, or seemingly material things, be conscious because they're part of a mind, like say the universe is a dream construct or something, and they are part of a consciousness in that case. Okay, so that your argument that there is this dichotomy between the primacy of existence and the primacy of consciousness is it's completely assumed. There's nothing contradictory about those two things per se. You can have a existence as primary and a mind as primary, just because the mind could very well be the primary thing that exists. Alright, and then secondly, let's see here. Where is this? Okay. Now this is where you start to misunderstand the mind, and I've noticed this with a lot of materialists. This is not really intending this as a theism versus atheism video, but I kind of do take issue with this stuff because I've taken philosophy of mind and I've seen a lot of kind of stupid claims along this line. Okay, you say for something to be conscious, it has to have something external to itself to be conscious of. Well, no. You can have thoughts, for example. Those are, you can be aware of your own thoughts, which are external to your mind, and you say to say otherwise is a contradiction in terms. Consciousness is a faculty that perceives what exists. To be conscious is to perceive something. Well, yes, but whoever said that it had to be outside your mind? This means consciousness requires something external to itself before it can identify itself as being conscious. And then, why? Because you can't be conscious of nothing. Well, you can't be conscious of nothing, but whoever said that the nothing had to be external to your mind? Or the something that you had to be conscious of had to be external to your mind. You can have, a priori thoughts, or you can be just aware of your I, basically, right? And that's inside your mind. You're conscious of that. Conscious. You're kind of ignoring the whole self-awareness thing here. You're saying one can't be conscious of their own consciousness since that contradicts the very nature of said faculty. Well, that's the whole point. That's what we call it self-awareness, right? It's you are aware of yourself, and you say that this, requires an external referent because otherwise you're going to end up with circularity. Well, it's not circular logic. It just is circular because it's reflexive on itself. That's the whole point of having self-awareness, right? Consciousness and self-awareness are the same thing. And furthermore, in order to be, conscious of anything outside, you have to have a consciousness first. Otherwise, who's doing the perceiving, right? There has to be a Cartesian ego out there to be aware of anything before you can say that perception is occurring. And then lastly, you have this. You seem to kind of ignore the possibility of a priori knowledge. Say reality cannot have a start or be created by the subjective. And you assume that you equate the subjective with the mind, but this completely ignores a category which is knowledge that is in the mind but is not subjective. that is a priori knowledge, like mathematics or um, you know, abstract notions of truth or logic. So, you know, whoever said that the a priori was non-existent